Hi, I'm Sumaya Abuhaidar with Blue Dot Coaching. I think many of you watching this video already know me, but if you don't, welcome to the Blue Dot community if you're new to our list or finding this video some other way. My partner is Jason Berv in Blue Dot Coaching, and we haven't posted anything for quite a long time. And the reason for that is that our life kind of imploded. In early January, as some of you know, I sustained a head injury from an accident, as well as a neck injury that I struggled to recover from. And then in early March, I became sick with what was probably COVID that really took me out, and ended up really, really ill. And my brain pretty much went into hibernation, and I didn't sleep much for close to 3 months, which for those of you who know anything about head injuries is kind of a disaster. And I'm still struggling, although doing quite a bit better, still struggling with the neck injury and neck pain. So we're not quite out of the woods, but we're very grateful that we're over the worst of it. And I can safely say that it was the most challenging stretch of our lives for both of us in completely different ways. It pushed us in ways that we couldn't have imagined, and was an incredibly challenging period. For me, once my brain really tanked, I was essentially unable to have more than a 1 or 2 sentence conversation for the better part of 6 months. I couldn't listen to books or read or listen to music even. I basically could do nothing but sit quietly and rest for an incredibly long time. And it's hard to describe how isolating and challenging that was. It's an incredible gift to be coming out of it. And as I come out of this, and as Jason and I together start to look ahead to hopefully a new beginning, and starting to share some of the insights that we've had during this time, I guess one of the first things that I would want to share is just how critical our grounding in the 3 principles has been during this time. Somebody we spoke to recently, a family member, saw how much we struggled and the lows that we went to. And when I say lows, I mean some of the darkest stretches we've ever known. And the response was, well, obviously this, the principles aren't helping, or this is too bad a situation, for the principles to be of use. And it's, our response, Jason and I both, was completely the opposite. And the reason for that is that the principles are not a tool to save us from suffering and hard experiences. And a lot of times when people are new to the principles, that's what they're looking for. And that's totally normal. And we're all looking to alleviate our suffering, and we're all looking to have a little relief from the stress and the challenge and the overwhelm that life throws at us. And the principles do help enormously with that. But it's not understanding of the principles doesn't give us a free pass from life's darkest moments, from the hardest things that life throws at us. But here's what it does give us. As I reflect back on these last 8 months of unbelievable challenge, what strikes me the most is that I haven't only had the darkest moments of my life, but remarkably have also had the most transcendent and full of grace and full of love. That I attribute to my grounding in the principles, because in the midst of it all, I kept over and over coming back to presence, coming back to the moment, dropping out of the thinking and the suffering, of dropping out of the personal, and having the world around me, in a sense, having something much larger than I am hold me up when I thought I couldn't go any further, when I thought I couldn't take it anymore, when I thought, every time I thought I couldn't sit there in isolation, not being able to communicate with my husband, my 2 teenage boys in their last few months before leaving home, when I thought I just couldn't take another moment of silence and boredom and isolation, all the things that my little mind created, every time I surrendered and allowed myself to experience something different, something came through me. Something revealed itself around me that was full of grace, full of light, full of delight, that held me up, that kept me going, that filled me, that gave me strength to keep going. And I know that that kept happening for me because I was open to that possibility because of my grounding in the principles. Because I never lost faith that that was possible, right alongside the darkness. And Jason will share his own insights over the coming few months, I'm sure. But I can speak for both of us that we can safely say that we're stronger together and more in love and more connected, and have really deepened our relationship and our marriage through all of this, instead of coming out of it frayed, instead of coming out of it distant from each other. And that, I know, comes from our grounding, as we kept looking to love and connection through it all. And essentially, as I look back, a huge part of this is that we knew what to take seriously and what to not. We knew where truth lies. So despite how dark things looked to us, it's the moments of light that ultimately we knew to look to as truth, as what matters most. And so as we come out of this and we look to more and more healing and start moving back into our lives, I think we can, Jason and I can both safely say that our grounding, our faith, our commitment to our roots in the principles, not as a tool, not as a technique, not as a bag of tricks, but as simply the truth of who we really are, the truth of how this world works, this truth of our true nature. That's what we're really coming away with. And that's what we really, I think both of us will be committed to sharing with people around us, with all of you. Because it's life-changing, especially right now. So many people are suffering. People close to us, people far from us, people all over the world. We're all connected by both the darkness and the light. And what we really look forward to sharing with others is how to be okay with the darkness and to know that it comes side by side with light, with insight, with deepening. And so this time in history, this time that we're all living through, doesn't have to be all darkness. That it's okay, it has a lot of darkness, but that a lot of light can come into our lives as well. A lot of deepening. So thank you for listening, and for those of you especially who are new to our community, we really look forward to connecting with you, and look forward to sharing as we go along, as we start to get back to our lives and get back to work.